And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean.
I'm Brian.
My name's Nick. And we're three friends from three different generations talking to your ass about all kinds of pop and nerd culture shit.
What?
If you're having a good time or you think I'm coming off a little too strong, either way, go look us up on Facebook and YouTube by searching for Convincing Idiots. Also, please be sure to go to our Instagram page, that is at convincing_idiots, on Twitter at convincingidiot with no S, TikTok at convincingidiots, or email us at convincingidiots@gmail.com, or if you're into being super lazy, ask your home assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast. We are back for another recap of pop culture today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell you what happened there. Professional Nick and Hype Nick were really fighting each other on that one.
They really were.
They were going back and forth. Yeah. They're having a hard time.
It's a delicate balance to keep them at bay inside me and to coexist. It's very different.
Well, I know. Yeah. I've been inside you.
It's true. You've seen it all firsthand.
And again, for those that listened last week with just Nick and I, this is what we were missing. The third dynamic of the show.
I don't know what you're talking about. I bring professionalism and decorum is the word I'm going to use.
Okay.
It's a word you could use. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the correct word, but
no,
okay.
I think that's I think that's mostly what you put inside your house and whatnot. But that's fine.
No.
No. Right. Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're shooting this the night before St. Patrick's Day.
You
motherfuckers.
We're getting started a little early.
Yeah, we're a little extra relaxed here. So
yeah.
By the way, if you're out there, you listen to us. We hope that by the time you listen, we hope you enjoyed a safe and healthy St. Patrick's Day out there. So
and after you get out of the drunk tank and listen to us, we hope you had a good time in there as well, and be more responsible next time.
Absolutely.
Okay. And once we got the NBC More You Know situation out of the way, decorum, dictionary, behavior in keeping with good taste and propriety.
Right.
Decorum.
Again,
so
not the correct word.
It's
exactly what I said. It is a word, but it's not the correct word to describe you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no. I agree with that. But Nick was saying that it's like decoration. Decorum as a decoration. No, that's not what I mean. Decorum, I used it right. I may not be the correct example of it, but I did use it right in the sentence.
Well, you are certainly a decoration on this podcast. That is for sure.
That's right. Could your decor have a positive decorum?
Well, check it out behind in my new set.
Yes.
Very nice.
Looks very good.
Some Three Stooges. What is it? We got Albert Einstein and old Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yeah, old Charlie Chaplin.
I was going to ask. You sent us a picture in the group text. I was like, I don't know who that other guy is.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And then we got Teddy Roosevelt up there behind me. Homer Simpson,
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
the
good.
greats.
That's right.
Yeah, if you can't see my set right now, my home office here, I have a new stand-up Albert Einstein cardboard
holding
stand-up.
the Convincing Idiot sign.
That's
It
right.
looks like an LP, like he's holding like a record.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yep. So he will transport when we shoot together, so you can check him out. All right, so sorry about that. I'm pulling up.
Thanks for tuning in. This was a good time.
That's right. Yeah, no more
Um,
notebook. I did get a new iPad Air this past week here because I got tired of dealing with the small screen, with screwing around with the show stuff, and it's very, very nice. I'm very happy for this. I have all my notes here on my iPad Air now. So
nice.
As it's taking him a long time to get to him.
That's right. Yeah.
It's very
How do you turn this on?
Just give me a moment. I will get to the convenience.
He keeps licking his finger trying to turn the goddamn page.
Yep. That's right. Where do you put the C batteries in this thing? It's too thin. So pop culture news, we're just kind of doing random headlines here, guys, and just share your thoughts. We've been doing the last few weeks now. Sad news in the world of acting. Yaphet Kotto, excuse me, passed away today, and today is March the yesterday, forgive me, March the 15th. He passed away yesterday. So, if you don't know who he was on a NBC television series, Homicide: Life on the Street, from 93 to 99 as Lieutenant Al Giardello, excuse me. He was in Alien, 1979. He was in The Running Man with Schwarzenegger in 87. The Midnight Run with Robert De Niro in 1988.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I recognize the guy.
Okay. And one of his famous characters, the main villain, Dr. Kananga / Mr. Big, it was kind of a two-role thing in the James Bond movie Live and Let Die, 1973, which also happened to be the first movie of my personal favorite James Bond, Roger Moore. And he was a very good villain in that. Have you guys seen that movie, Live and Let Die?
Mm-mm.
Never seen a single James Bond movie.
What?
Never.
My ears are defying me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Have mercy.
How did we miss that? I must have said that because we did a whole segment of you and how you like James Bond. Certainly that must have come up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't recall you saying that you've never seen any of them.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Not a single one. Not even like where I haven't seen Rocky, but I've like seen bits and pieces of the first Rocky, so I kind of have, but like not really.
Okay. Well, first of all, the Rocky movies I discovered over the weekend, they're all on HBO Max. Did you know that?
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I watched Rocky 3 on the way. I haven't seen it in a long time. I love that one with Mr. T.
Of course.
Back to James Bond.
Back to James Bond.
Why not? Why not watch
I don't know.
James Bond
I don't know that they've ever been I don't know. Like nobody in my family was like a fan or anything, so like it wasn't really like
I mean, there's so many of them. You should have watched one on accident.
Like Pierce, I remember like as a child, Pierce Brosnan was James Bond, and
that's
like
right, in the 90s, late 90s. Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't
see that actually there you go. That tells the generation, and it tells you the age of people.
Who's your James Bond? Right?
Who is James Bond? Not like who's your favorite James Bond. Who was James Bond when you were a kid?
Similar to be done with Batman, yeah, where like you could tell like which.
Like when I was a kid, it was Timothy Dalton.
Yep, for a couple movies. Yep. Late 80s. Yeah, see, I guess that's interesting. It's me
like
as a kid.
Sean Connery, like I had no like I knew of Sean Connery, but somebody one time was like said something about him being like, it's like a girl I dated. Her dad was a big James Bond fan. He's like, he'll always be James Bond to me, and I was like, why? And he's like, because he's like that is the James Bond. I'm like, I had no idea.
Get out of my house.
James Bond. Like I don't know, just. Pierce Brosnan was the first one I knew was James Bond, and then they switched to Daniel Craig, and that's like my extent of my knowledge. But yeah, and I'm very familiar with the Austin Powers movie and know that they pretty direct, like they're kind of spoofing that kind of thing, that like spy kind of. So I get that, but yeah, I've never seen one, never even like seen one on TV that I can think of to where I'm like I'm gonna stop and watch this. I'm sure they have been.
Blowing my mind. Well, I guess for me as a kid, you too, Dean, probably, but. On the movie channel, now years ago, this is like in the early, this is like 70s, late 70s, early 80s, when the like Star Channel and the movie channel came out. Mm-hmm. Back then, one of the pieces of, one thing they had was they had license to the James Bond movies. So they would just run those.
That's what I'm saying. Is you should have watched it by accident.
Yeah, so I watched. That's where I started into it. My parents were a fan too, so that helped. Yeah, so
I was gonna say I assume that like on Spike, that seems like or whatever was Spike and is now Paramount or whatever.
Yes,
that seems like a thing that they would show a lot.
When it was Spike, they had a lot of them.
Yeah,
they had marathons. I think some is on Netflix right now. I believe at least some of them. And there's a Pluto TV. Okay. Which is a download. It's this free streaming app. They have classic movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have all the James Bond movies, I think, up until the Daniel Craig ones, if I'm not mistaken, there too. Okay. So they're prevalent out there. You can't remain categorized as a man, I don't believe, a whole lot longer
Never have
until you
been,
watch
buddy.
it. Until you watch at least one James Bond movie, I think. So
now, if you, in your opinion, which would be the one to watch, not necessarily your favorite, but if I'm coming into this at now,
watch first one.
At 33 years old, which is the
Dr.
one?
No. Go back, watch first with Dr.
It's
No.
still going to be like in today's world. I'm still going to like that has as good of a chance of being like interesting to me as like a Daniel Craig or a Pierce Brosnan one.
Go back and watch Dr. No. The first scene of James Bond, period, is Sean Connery. It's probably why your former girlfriend's dad, who probably lucky you pissed him off because you would not be married to the lovely Robin. Right. They show him and he's got the cigarette and the first he improv, I think, James Bond, and it just is like, wow, that's a man right there.
Yeah.
Now you said that about Han Solo. What is it?
Here's another one.
Who wins?
It was a striking. Sean Connery was super cool in this movie. He actually tried in this particular James Bond movie. He didn't try in all of them. He definitely tried in this one. Storylines in all of them get a little weird,
Okay.
And so there you have it. So, anyways, back to
some of them get campy. Some of them get campy.
Yeah,
that's why I asked if there was one better to watch. That's maybe more like
this was a good one.
Okay, started.
This is early '60s. It's an early '60s movie.
Okay,
but go back and check that out. But
okay.
So Yaphet Kotto. Now, one thing in my opinion that not that you. If you're around my age and you've seen these movies or whatever, villains die in different ways, and what kind of became a thing definitely in the Roger Moore ones for sure, was that the deaths of the big villain became kind of campy, sort of, where he would have a quip or something. They would die in some, that's kind of what Austin Powers. The one thing he definitely was, making fun of was. All the crazy lines where people get killed and all that. So Yaphet Kotto played such a cool bit. He probably had of all-time worst, ridiculous James Bond villain deaths of all time. He had sharks, in this
with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
That's funny. Okay. And he had they had these cartridges, so if a shark got out of control or something like that, I guess you would shoot it and they would inflate and burst the shark in case you had to kill, something like that. It was like a gas thing. So James Bond, Roger Moore, gets one of these cartridges into Yaphet Kotto's mouth. He literally, like a cartoon, inflates like a balloon. I'm not even kidding. And flies up in the air and bursts and explodes.
Oh.
That is how the great Yaphet Kotto died in this crazy James Bond movie. There you have it.
And I'll tell you what, rest in peace, Yaphet Kotto. But we might be the show that has done the longest topic upon his death.
Yes, that could be true. And a lot of it was just about James Bond in general.
Right.
But he was very good. He was a good actor. I saw him in a few things. He was a good actor, so rest in peace. Okay, last Sunday, the Grammys were aired, and they had to do them kind of a weird, outdoors and all that, and the times and everything.
Tell me how many awards Foghat won.
You know what? Yeah. We talked about this recently. The year, this is late 80s, to where Metallica was up for the metal album Grammy for And Justice for All, and then Justice for All had this song One on it, which that song if you're even a semi-fan. And they lost the Grammy to Jethro Tull. And even Jethro Tull was like, what in the hell's happening right now? They were completely unprepared. Metallica even performed on the Grammys live, sang One live, and no one could believe it. They're so out of touch with that award, and they don't even show the hard rock stuff, which to me angers me.
Yeah,
it's definitely a pop music show, but I digress. I didn't watch 2 seconds of it. I'm not boycotting it. I just didn't watch it. Do you guys have any thoughts on the? I have a couple of things, but do you have any thoughts on the Grammys? Did you see it? any thoughts in general?
Well, I can tell you about the turd I left in the toilet rather than watch the Grammys I chose to do.
Okay.
I can tell you about that. Other than that, no.
Maybe the bonus episode.
I wish I would have known the Grammys were on, because actually, Dean, you were at my house, maybe not that late in the night, but like my favorite thing is whenever I am watching Saturday Night Live and the musical guest comes on and Dean is near me, because every single one is like, who is this? Are they famous? What do they say? This is this is everything.
Yeah.
So I would love to watch the Grammys, Dean, specifically, just to see what that is. I would like to do a live react of the Grammys, or not only at Saturday Night Live, but we've commonly spent New Year's together in the past.
Sure.
That's another big one.
Yep.
All the acts. What is this? Who are they? Are they famous? What is that? I've never heard this song. What is that? Like, you've never heard this song? Like, it's like massive right now.
Where's Jethro Tull?
Where's Jethro Tull?
I want to hear the
flute.
I'm getting better. I'm learning new music.
Are you?
I am. I'm when flipping through the dial on the radio in the car.
Turning the knob on your radio on your AM station.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like Kiss FM, I will stop to hear and to see if I can tolerate it, and if I can, I will sit and listen to the song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Yeah. I did not watch the Grammys. I honestly, I don't have cable. Like, I just stream everything. It's weird. It's a weird thing we're in right now, because like I actually like watching music award shows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're in this age of streaming everything, I'd have to like really seek it out and make time to go watch it. And I'm not gonna do that. Like you know what I mean? Everything's on demand now, and like I probably would be catching up on shows or something like that I watch instead. So no, I didn't watch it. So do you have any? I'd like to know like who won things, like best album.
See, I feel the same about the Grammys. I feel the same way about the Grammys that I do like fireworks. If there were fireworks outside my goddamn house, I would close the curtains and shut the window.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Grammys are on TV, I will go out of my way to turn them off.
Keep those Grammys out of my yard, kids.
I don't understand what you're wearing. I don't understand what point you're trying to prove with your songs. Right. I don't understand what you're trying to say.
That's right.
I don't know what the fuck Beyonce is, but get the fuck off my lawn.
Yeah, that's right. So album of the year was won by Taylor Swift for Folklore. She's the only woman.
Dean, you know who Taylor Swift is, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
First woman to win album of the year 3 times over, and Beyonce was the big winner. So now she is now the winningest woman in Grammy history. She has 28 awards, and she actually ties Quincy Jones in all-time wins. So
you think about how long
Beyonce's
been around, and then like starting with Destiny's Child, and then I mean,
Right.
I mean, all her endeavors, both solo, things that she does with Jay-Z, I mean, other tracks of people's that she's on. I mean,
well, you got to think about it.
She's all over the place, yeah.
Yep.
You know, artists back in the day didn't go this long at this height that she has. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know,
same could be said for a Taylor Swift. I mean, she's been so popular.
Well, she was like a teenager when she started.
Right. Yeah. She's transitioned well.
You know, you would have artists that would plateau, and then they're still relevant, but they would go down, so they wouldn't be in that awards category for all those years.
Right.
Yeah, and you think Quincy Jones? I mean, that's iconic Motown.
Okay. Let me tell you what. Go. Do yourself a favor if you got a free time. Netflix has a Quincy Jones documentary.
Okay.
It is amazing. It's regular 2 hours, something like that.
Okay.
But it goes through his life, and then it follows him like in real time towards the end. Like they were interviewing him for the documentary and stuff, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. So yeah, and then I haven't seen these yet. We were talking about these off camera, but I am interested in they had some nice tributes to some artists who passed away last year. So Dean, one of his favorite artists is Kenny Rogers, and Lionel Richie sang "Lady," who he wrote that song for Kenny.
Lady.
So I'd like to see that, and they had a nice tribute, I guess, to Eddie Van Halen. I guess they had one of his guitars or something and played a solo with a light on it or something.
Is this the first Grammys that's passed since Eddie Van Halen passed away?
Yeah.
Wow. This year's been a weird one, eh?
It's just like that
seems like
late last year.
It's been a weird
year. Yeah.
Feels like a while.
It was like what, November maybe?
November, December.
That recent?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I think it's October actually.
Okay.
October, but still late last year.
Still, sure. I was thinking if anything, it was closer to like a full calendar year ago. Wow.
No.
Huh.
And Bruno Mars did a nice tribute, I guess, to Little Richard. So he had the nice suit, and I like Bruno Mars, so that would have been interesting to see. I just didn't even really pay attention that it was on. It was there. I was messing around with show prep and junk, and it just I don't know. I just don't get super excited for that stuff these days.
I should have done a recap before the episode or something, but I would like to. There's some performances I heard about. Like I heard. I don't know if The Weeknd debuted a new something. Was it a video?
He boycotted.
Oh,
The Weeknd was snubbed last year, or not the last music award show recently.
Like American Music Awards.
Yes,
maybe. Yeah.
He felt he was snubbed by the industry or something like that, so he's boycotting the Grammys apparently.
Oh, okay.
Forever now, or something.
I saw somebody. Maybe it was a new video or something. Something came out.
He feels really strongly that the show should be on a Sunday, but when they put it like on a Tuesday or Wednesday,
right? I mean, his name is The Weeknd.
It's named after him. I mean, they put it in his time slot. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Okay, so sad news in the world of inventors.
I'm listening.
Lou Ottens, 94 years of age, bless his heart, passed away not this past Saturday, but the Saturday prior. And in 1963, he debuted the invention of the portable cassette tape. So he, let's see here, he was a
big fan of that invention.
What makes this important?
He's a Dutch man. Go ahead.
Right. But when they closed the casket, it made a sound.
Yeah, just like the cassette thing you're talking about.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Somebody joked on another thing that maybe he was buried with a pencil.
The tape,
just in case. Yeah. So definitely,
his legs got caught up in the gears.
But he definitely brought the portable music to an entirely new level. So you think about that. At that time, we had vinyl records, we had the radio. That's it. That was it.
Yeah.
And then that was before even the 8-track came out in 1963. And you think about what the tape cassette allowed just a Joe Schmo to do. I mean,
jam into the song you want to hear in your car going down the highway.
That's right. And you could make your mixtapes and everything. So
I was so good at that.
Yeah, in the 70s, you had those crappy like K-Tel albums, like had the mix, the variety of songs on an album, and that was kind of cool at the time. Like, oh, you get a variety of songs on this album that are popular, right? Or you could buy the 45s, of course, but the cassette, you're right, you could do your radio timing and everything else. So
I can make my own Kenny Rogers greatest hits on what I think is greatest songs on.
Man, I would do that for hours. I put the headphones on, and you'd have the tape where you find the song,
get it ready,
record and play, at the same time, and then in between, the really tricky part was listening to the radio, waiting for the DJ to stop talking if he didn't, talking to it, and recorded just that right moment. And
right,
I loved doing that shit when I was younger.
I had, we were probably a little above average state of the art, I guess, a little bit, because we hooked up our television to the stereo. Okay, so we could listen to TV through the big speakers on the stereo.
Yeah, we did that.
And then for MTV, that was terrific.
Oh yeah.
But then I would keep that cassette in that damn So when MTV came on, you could see what videos are coming up, and then you could record
Oh wow!
your video.
I didn't think of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And I started to get creative, and I would start to make like put like little movie clips and little things like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then it became that whole thing became art. I made these. This is like now fast forward into the 90s. I would make these. I still have them. You'd make these elaborate party tapes. Okay.
Sure.
And I was high rolling next. I had a four cassette changer in this. I still have it in the attic. So you could put 4 cassettes in there.
Right.
And you could set it to where it'll play the entire side back out, or it'll play one song, click, next song, click, and it would do that number for you. And that was pretty state of the art at the time.
Right.
But I would
shuffle
sit there shuffle. Just for hours. Hours and hours and hours, putting your CDs in there, playing that one song, and I would queue up a movie on a VHS tape to a point like I know where this quote is in this stupid movie, like Austin Powers or something dumb. Fast forward it and time it, and then record it and get that 2-second snippet on that stupid party tape.
Yeah.
So hours, but that technology allowed you to do all that, and then certainly when I was a kid, Columbia House came out. You can get 13 tapes for a penny and all this stuff, and you just built your music library very quickly with that stuff. So
and then you never pay that penny.
Yeah, you had to pay for a way to buy two cassettes over the next year. It was so lenient.
And then you get the bill for like $78 that nobody fucking paid. That's why Columbia House went out of business.
Sure, absolutely. But I remember that you get those tapes, those brand new cassette tapes. That smell smelled like it was so exciting to get that new tape smell and all.
And when you unraveled the inside art with the lyrics and stuff, like this long.
Yeah, that was.
You had to figure out
from
how
an
to fold
album.
it back in. Some of them folded weird. You had to like they half accordion but half folded over. It was weird.
And then when I do the mixtape, I would take like the lined paper. From school, and I would cut it just that perfect length and fold it down. I would put my own art on the outside. Right there in the end there.
Yeah. There's definitely something. Yeah, it's an innocent time in that respect. I don't know. So, So Nick, did you have tapes growing up, or are you a CD only guy? Yeah.
No, that was when I first started buying my own music. It was actually the first cassette, Brian, you'll be proud to know, that I ever purchased was Kiss on MTV Unplugged. My first of my very own purchase. I had other cassettes that I would, borrow from the basement. My dad had all his cassettes and records and things like that. But the first one of my own that I bought, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was my first time there, and I bought the MTV Kiss Unplugged cassette of that whole set. Yeah.
There's a lot of worse albums for your first album. That's a pretty good album.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my second one was the soundtrack to Jurassic Park. Actually, that was.
We're off
I remember
mine, but that's all right.
Mine was Elvis Presley.
Really?
Nice. That's good.
His golden record one with him in the orange suit jacket.
Yeah.
The black record behind him.
Mm-hmm.
That is fantastic. That's great. Yeah, that's one. I can't recall my first ever cassette. I don't know. I do remember the first hard rock cassette I bought was Rat Out of the Cellar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was 85, I want to say. Yeah. So, yep. Good stuff. So, rest in peace, Mr. Ottens. You definitely took music to another
changed the world
level. Sure did. It really did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Building blocks.
Okay, this was interesting here. An NFT sold Thursday at Christie's auctions for $69.3 million. So
tell the people at home what an NFT is for those.
You may ask, yes, that's right. What is an NFT? And I have it right here. It stands for a non-fungible token. So I'm going to get the details here.
So it's a Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly go ahead, Brian.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I don't know the exact definition, but I know, for example, you could, and I don't know, how, and Brian, tell me if I'm off on this, but you could record, we could do this podcast, right? We could do however many podcasts we've done. We could do one specific podcast, not release it, and save it, and somebody could buy that podcast in itself that where nobody else, you can't put it out in the world, you can't do it. You sell that one, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think that's sort of right. So
is that sorry, Brian, I don't mean to interrupt, but does that have to do? I hear people talk about like recent, like putting tweets up for sale and things like that. Is it like that?
Yeah. So
I think
like
so.
where you can buy the tweet
Yes.
and like it's your somehow or whatever. Like
the guy that created Twitter, his first tweet became an NFT.
okay.
That he did. So the definition here. So it's an asset verified using blockchain technology in which a network of computers records transactions and gives the buyers proof of authenticity and ownership. The current boom is mostly for digital assets, including images, GIFs, songs, or videos. Most importantly, NFTs make digital artworks unique and therefore sellable. So this guy, he's Mike Winkleman, is the artist, also known as Beeple, and you might think he looks like some young urban kid or some teenager or something like that.
With the name of Beeple, yes.
You can look him up. You can look him up online here, but I'm going to show a picture here on the video. There's Mr. Winkleman right there. He looks like somebody's dad, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
But the image that he sold was very cool, and we'll put this up here. But it's the first 5,000 days. It's called. It was like an astronaut with like crystals and things coming out of the suit. It's actually a neat image, and it's like, when did it become a thing? So apparently in 2017, this CryptoKitties, a site that allowed people to buy and breed limited digital cats with cryptocurrency. That's when this became more of a popular thing. And the question here is, if I buy an NFT, do I own the art? And the answer is sort of. So the buyer of an NFT will not, this is from the New York Times, by the way, a buyer of an NFT will not necessarily acquire a copyright or even sole access to a work. Many will remain available to anyone with an internet connection, but some people are willing to pay handsomely to be able to claim ownership of the verifiable real thing. So we were, so I guess it's sort of like a painting.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly there's one painting and somebody owns that painting. Now that painting might be displayed in a museum, or in
so other
someone's
people
home.
can see it.
Other people can see it. You can look up a picture of it online,
Right.
but only
one has that
person owns it.
Right. It's the digital equivalent of owning the Mona Lisa in a physical form.
Sure, yeah, you can see it anywhere. You can go look at it on the internet anywhere. It's
right, but that
no stranger to,
in their database or in their computer or however you want to put it. Right, exactly.
Yeah, that image is on wherever that image is. Apparently, you could trace it back to this individual owns that image, and I guess the NBA is getting more into this too, where a video. Yes, so a video of LeBron James dunking a basketball, for instance, became an NFT and is sold to somebody who owns the rights of that. Now, see, but again, anybody can look at it, so it's not like, I don't know if the owner makes money if they would out there. I don't know how that
other people are seeing it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I don't think that works that way.
We need to find that out because I'm planning on doing this with a picture of my testicles over a trophy.
It's a similar concept, probably. It's just what is it worth to somebody? If somebody finds value in it,
exactly.
Right, and I don't know. And it's like the clip here from the Times, same article is like, is this stuff art? So
I mean, anything produced from your mind that takes creativity is art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, whether it be physical art or performance art, whether it's something dancing or it's still art.
Yeah.
So this is just a different form.
Okay, a digital version of that. Yeah.
Right.
In some respects, probably like collectors. I think some do it just for the passion to have it, and they just want the feeling, and they want to show it off to whatever, friends and whatnot, I'm sure. Others are probably taking a gamble that it's going to be worth something to somebody else more someday.
Just some rich guy that just so he can say he was part of the deal that bought
That's right.
this new thing for $30,000.
Right. That's what it smells like to me. It's like I have a lot of money and I'm trying to find ways to impress other people or something like that. And it's just like,
and
I don't know.
That's
good on the artist. Fucking good on the artist. I mean,
this guy was shocked.
Get it.
This guy was shocked. The guy, that Beeple guy, he's like, he said he was completely basically stunned that it was that he made that much money from that thing. It's just like, wow,
Well, it's totally like, I mean, I guess it's the thing that we're probably it's not tangible. I think is the thing that we maybe struggle with. Is because I can buy comic books or figures, or I'm down stairs in my basement bar. I've got shelves of different things, hockey memorabilia and different things that I like, whatever, figures and whatever. If that's not important to somebody, they go like, wow, that dude's got a lot of fucking toys and shit like around
that's right.
his little area there. But to me, it's stuff that I can at least or like Brian, when you came over and you were looking at my stuff and you're like, oh, commenting on stuff. That's kind of, it's for me because it makes me happy, but it's also really cool when someone's like, I also like this thing, that's really cool.
Okay.
But it's different for me to wrap my head around, because if I buy, I don't know, the first tweet announcing Barack Obama as the 44th president of the United States, that's a really cool, historic thing to have. What do I do with it? How do you print it out and put it on a wall? Like, I mean, what is that?
I got you. All right, Nick, here you go. You have an Apple iTunes account, correct?
I do.
You have, and I know the closet behind you, you have a shit ton of CDs.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that CD, you could pull it out, you could open the CD up, you can pull out the case, you can look at the lyrics, you can put it in the case. But your Apple iTunes, you can't touch it.
Right.
It's there. You can listen to it, just like that, the digital painting. You could pull it up, a computer, phone, whatever, and look at it. You have it. It's yours. You paid for it. It is in your possession. So maybe it's something like that. Those songs are no longer on a CD at that moment. They are digitally in the cloud, in your phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In your account.
Well, the interesting thing is, like here's the thing. So, it's cool.
It's very cool. Yeah.
But it's right here.
Yeah.
So I can take a picture of this and I can
you
look
can
at
screen
it
grab it right now and you have it. And
so I can enjoy it, but I don't own it.
Right.
And somebody
and how does that make
you
feel, Brian, that you don't own that? Do you
I'm
wish
fine.
you owned it?
No.
I'm fine.
No, because I could look at it right here, I guess. It's
right.
Like it's just
that's
what
that's the thing
like
I struggle with, is I'm like, you're enjoying it on the same level that the person that owns it, right?
Now, maybe it's the rarity thing. I mean, like you say, maybe some people will buy a right to something and just sort of, if they're able to. It's so hard to keep something offline once it's been out there, or maybe it's something that's created uniquely. Maybe that's where it gets into. Perhaps is maybe someone creates a work of art uniquely.
Sure.
So maybe this dude will be this Beeple dude. Maybe he'll start to create now unique
for people specifically, and that's yours.
Right. So
it's an OnlyFans, but for art, because that's what an OnlyFans is. It's like I get on there and tell you what I want you to do and what I want you to wear and what you to say to me, and then they do, and then that's your personal experience. But anybody can also see that person doing something.
Green, yellow. Oh, yellow.
Right.
I mean, I'm being ridiculous, but it's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's where it's going. I don't know. I don't get. I think we're all kind of.
Does this tie into our lack of human connection right now? Are we just looking for a unique thing for us?
I don't know. It
makes sense. Saying it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's a way to look at art away from crowds, and it's certainly it's a different type of art. It's still, people. I don't know. And by the way, that Twitter, I misspoke here. It says here that Jack Dorsey is actually auctioning his first tweet for charity as an NFT. So it's raised cool. $2.5 million so far. So that's pretty cool there.
Nice.
So I don't know.
All right,
interesting stuff.
Before the next story, maybe we should take a pause for the cause.
I agree.
Let everybody take a breather.
Dean's got to pee.
Right, and we'll come back and talk about a couple more things.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Ham gravy.
Yeah, we are.
4, 3.
And we are back with Convincing Idiots. Once again, as you know, because you were listening to the first part of the show, I'm Dean.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Nick.
And all three of us are back for the continuation for this, what are we doing, headlines?
It's a podcast. Oh, okay.
No, I know it's a podcast. I'm doing the headlines. No, we talked about the guy who what was the guy's name who did the.
So we had Yaphet
cassette tape.
Kotto. Oh, sorry, Yaphet Kotto passed away. We talked about the Grammys. We talked about the Mr. Lou Otten, the inventor of the cassette tape, passing away, and what the hell an NFT is, and why someone would spend $69.3 million on a digital piece of art, basically. So
I mean, I get the love of art, Brian, but that's just way too expensive. But do you know what isn't expensive? Erie
What's
insurance.
That?
Not from Aaron Blankets. Not.
That's right. All right, we're gonna do the Blake Injury read. Do we want me to do a voice? Huh?
Dusty roads, dusty roads, dusty roads, dusty roads.
I gotta be drunk. Dusty is drunk.
How about Macho Man? You did
Macho
that,
Man?
Yeah, how about that?
Oh yeah, Macho Man could bring it, Blake. You know, fuck me up here. I gotta do the finger. You gotta do the finger for Macho Man.
Because he drinks a lot of tea, or what? Like I don't.
No, that's all he did.
No. It's cream rises to the top.
Oh yeah. Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located in Barberton, Ohio. Yeah. They offer auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Oh, yeah. Erie Insurance is above all in service. Oh, yeah. Call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com. Oh, yeah. Dig it for your free 5-minute quote today. Oh, yeah.
That was powerful. That was powerful.
Very powerful. Very good.
That's right.
The Macho King has spoken.
That's right.
I'm fucking sweating here.
That's right. Snap into it. Snap into Erie Insurance.
That's right.
Lord. Okay.
I had to cough there for a second.
All right. So we have a couple more stories here. So this is just a brief one here, but the one of my favorite Nintendo games as a kid, the original Nintendo gaming system, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. This is when they were at the initial height of their powers back then in the mid to late 80s. When the original cartoon came out and all that. By the way, I own some of the original comic book series in black and white. Really? Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have issued 2
wow
through something. Black and white comics, great stuff. Before this is a whole different. It was more of a martial arts vibe in the original comic book series. Great stuff, and I wish I would have bought number 1. I'm sure it would be worth some money, but some of these I'm sure are worth some money right now.
That one is. I was just thinking. I'm like talking about owning something worth money.
Yeah, I have a lot of these.
That is
a lot of these in the attic. I just did the cover and everything appealed to me as a kid, but anyway. They had two video games, I think, for the Nintendo. The first one was garbage. This one, though, was based on the arcade game.
Yes. Oh, I love that one.
Which is a terrific game. Actually, it's at Sweets and Geeks and Medina. We talked about the original arcade. A lot of fun. And actually, this plays almost identical to the arcade game on the NES gaming system. Terrific game. A lot of fun. It's a winnable game. You can get all the way to the end and beat Shredder. Very, very difficult. You can't save it. It's one of those games you have to sit down. Back in the day, it's like I need to devote at least 2 hours right now to try to beat this game. And if I get up, if I leave, if I pause it and screw it up, it's gone. Or if I die, done.
That's the thing we forget. That's the thing we forget about video games of the past, is like you didn't have checkpoints and
No.
saves and
no.
it was like you sat down and you played, and if you stopped, it was over, and you started from the beginning. That's all it was.
Do you guys remember the excitement and that anxiety and nervousness?
Yes.
Like when you're doing Bebop and Rocksteady, and when you're hitting them, they're blinking, white and stuff.
Yep.
But they still keep going back and forth and coming closer, and they're not dying, and you're watching the little levels go at the top.
That's when you know. I feel like that. See, okay, so here's again another moment where I'm gonna sound a little bit like an old man here, but like I feel like we're missing that for like kids aren't gonna understand how to persevere when the pressure is on and you see Bebop and Rocksteady blinking. And you feel you're that fucking close. Yep. You just gotta hang in there,
and then you see your level going down and down and down.
You gotta stay the fuck in there, and you gotta meet the moment and make it happen. And like kids don't know that.
Literally
like,
on
they
the
can
edge
save
of your
when
chair.
it's safe. Oh yeah, it's for sure.
It's kind of like Mario Brothers when you get to the end and the music's like getting faster.
Yes, that's right.
Gotta go.
And if
that's
you died,
how you learn to handle pressure. Yeah.
If you died you beat the big boss, all that work, all the way to Shredder or the Dragon, whatever, any of these games, you get to the big boss, you died, start over.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right.
From start. From start, not from that level, all the way back to start. Craziness, but that was just what it was.
Or you have like the really fucking tough games, like remember Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Yeah.
You went through all of them, and some of those guys were really tough. But when you get to Tyson, it's done.
Insane.
I mean, unless you're like an extreme player, he's taking you out in like seconds. You know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, I finally got to Tyson. He comes in, and just bam, 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 bam. You're done. You're like, uh-oh. What the fuck? What's that?
He hit hard. He hit like a fucking mule kick.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
I took him down so hard, like a prom date. He would come down and just one uppercut, and you're done. But you spent hours getting to him.
Yep.
At least like King Koopa or Shredder, there was a chance. You know what I mean? You could fight and battle. Tyson was just over. So you spent hours fighting, and then boom, you're done. And then you're back down to like the middleweight championship or whatever shit that is.
Yep. But that's fun. So I used to play that game. You could play two players at the same time, which made it even more fun. And I had a buddy back in high school, and he's since passed away, rest in peace, in an accident. But we would play that game hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And this is now, we were 20, 21 years old now when this game was out, I think at the time. So
about 60 years ago.
Yeah, it feels that way certainly. But we would go down and get snacks and whatever, and just sit down and just play and play and play.
Pizza rolls.
I'm sure. So they have so the reason I bring that up is they have a new version, a continuation of that game coming out, Shredder's Revenge or something like that. It's a new, and I go check it out. You can see the trailer. And one cool thing about the trailer is Mike Patton from Faith No More sings the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles classic theme song on this trailer.
Oh wow!
Oh cool.
The game looks like the game back then with some modern things, but it has the pixel. It makes me. I don't know that they've announced it yet.
I was going to say
it'll at least be on Nintendo.
Yeah, it'll be on that Switch. I would imagine. Yeah,
and I would assume other gaming platforms as well. But it just looks like a lot of fun. So
I'm going to buy it.
That made me happy to see that. Yeah. Okay. Big nerd news. This weekend, guys, starts streaming on the 18th. The 4-hour-long Zack Snyder.
Wait.
What's that?
It starts on the 18th?
Yes.
Oh.
You get to watch it like when you wake up in the morning, yeah?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Thursday, not Friday.
I am very, very excited right now.
I think that's right. Is it the 18th? I think it's the 18th.
Oh, I am going to be hungover and enjoying the shit out of that movie.
I wonder if that's why they're doing that. I wonder in part. Anyway, so the 4-hour-long reshoot, at least half of it, whatever, on HBO Max. You can watch it there. I saw one review we talked about off on camera on Variety.com this dude compares it with The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, the original, and Black Panther, and a few others. So he's saying that
it's like one of the best superhero movies you've seen. Yeah.
He's saying it's in that realm.
Wow.
And we know that the original...
That's a balls... Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It is.
No, that's okay.
Right.
So Zack Snyder was the original director, as some may or may not know, and I guess halfway through the movie, he had to leave it for various reasons, including, I guess, his daughter, rest in peace, I guess, had committed suicide and stuff. I didn't know all this stuff.
Yes.
So Josh Whedon came in.
I don't know if he's the proprietor, but I know he writes on the website Cinema Blend. He wrote a book about it. Like he did extensive for like years research, not only upon why he left, why Snyder left, but also the whole campaign and outcry to get the Snyder Cut and what it took to get the Snyder Cut released and put back together and stuff.
Okay.
So the dude from Cinema Blend did a whole book on it.
Okay, let's check that out. So yeah, it's he had to bring the actors back in to do reshoots and stuff. So Ben Affleck, who had left the franchise, came back in and agreed to do this.
Hopefully there's no CGI mustache taken away. I'm hoping that is a...
Jesus. So...
I killed it.
So the original was about half of it was reshot and rewritten at the time. And it was definitely... if you watch the first one, I think I watched it once, literally. It's more,
I watched
goofy.
I watched it once in the theater, and then I watched it with Carter.
Now, did you like the current cut?
No.
Yeah.
It was blank. It was dull. It was there wasn't much to it, and honestly, some of the effects weren't very good. And I made a joke of it, but the mustache thing, you can't watch Henry Cavill without seeing that CGI mustache. It was awful.
Would be interested to watch it again. Now, I've heard you and Robin both complain numerous times about it, but I'm like,
hard to watch it, man.
I don't know that I knew that when I saw it, so I don't know that I noticed it. But I'd be curious to see how much I pick up on it now.
It's all you see. Once you know, that's all you see.
Yeah. I just remember watching that movie. I've watched it 1.5 times. The first time was the half because I fell asleep. The second time I went back and watched it again and stuck it out. And I was just, like you said, it's bland. The entire time I was watching it, I'm going, why can't they do a movie like a Marvel?
Right.
Band? Like, why they all have to be like this? And I don't mean the tone, because look, DC has a different tone to it.
Has a darker tone, yes.
I get that. But why can't you do it well? Like, I don't understand why it can't be done well.
Right.
And
that's right.
I have high hopes for the new Batman. I will say that.
The Joss Whedon
off the trailer that I saw.
The Joss Whedon movie wasn't bad. Like, I didn't watch it and go, I hate it. This is awful. It was okay. It was bland.
And I don't know which one of you said it about the effects, but I remember there was one of the final scenes in there, and I'm like, this looks like, obviously, I mean, it's not, the effects aren't good.
It's like you think, when we were kids, all of us really, because we were all kids and none of these movies were around.
Right.
And you think, boy, wouldn't it be cool? And for me, I sort of had to wait much longer, but you think, wouldn't it be cool to see these heroes done on the big screen correctly? How cool would that be? And the thought of, I used to love watching the Super Friends and stuff as a kid on Saturday mornings and stuff. And I used to collect those for years too when I was a child, because it's like, those are iconic heroes. Yeah. Ted Knight, by the way. Thank you.
Yes.
He was the original announcer there. Anyway, and Avengers, to think if the thought of getting all these characters on the screen at the same time done was just unheard of. And now here you are, you have the opportunity to do this. Marvel does it fantastically with the Avengers and leads it all in, as we all know, the great storylines. It brings it all together, and like that one great scene where they're all standing on the street together with the aliens attacking, and that camera swirls around them, and they're all standing there. It's like, wow.
Well, you also got to, Brian. You also got to look at the directors and creators. I mean, and I say that as in the Russo brothers had the helm for many of those movies.
Yeah.
But you also had Feige, Paul Feige, I think his name is. Yeah. But he's the Kathleen Kennedy. You know what I mean? He holds all of that together and makes sure the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in step and the story is going where it should. You know, he is the creative genius in that. I don't think DC has that.
No.
I don't think they have somebody going with the helm of like this whole universe going, you know, this is the story. This is where we need to get to.
That's right.
It would almost seem that, you know, once Marvel kicked off and started, you know, people who own DC going,
they're behind.
Shit,
we're way behind.
We should probably do something.
Right.
We had a few shitty Superman movies. Maybe we should reboot it. Which Man of Steel was a good start. In my opinion, Man of Steel was a good start.
It's okay.
And you shit the bed with Batman vs Superman.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you say that name, Martha?
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. So it's
like they, like you said, they got that far and thought, oh shit, we should do something. It's like they got that far into that movie and was like, okay, we got to make them bond over something. Right. So like, fuck, what are they like?
To stop punching each other.
Yeah. Terrible. It was rushed.
I remember.
I don't know.
And I'll piggyback a little bit, Brian, off of your. I was listening to your It Came From Gen X podcast with your friends. Keith Porter and Skinner there, and you guys were talking about when you saw one of them. I can't remember who it was, if it was Keith or if it was Skinner, that said when they saw it in the theater, they really liked it, and then they went, or maybe it was the opposite way, that they didn't like it. But I remember Dean and I went to go see it in the theater. We both left that movie going, man, that was good. Wasn't that good? Holy shit. I
liked it.
We both did. And I did it actually. Guilty. I've done it with all the new Star Wars movies too. And only one of those that I actually liked. But, upon further review, I'm like, garbage. I don't need that. But Superman, Batman versus Superman, same thing. We left the theater thinking it was cool. I remember there was a lot about it I liked. I liked that they kind of played on a darker tone. I liked the way they pitted them against each other and why they disliked each other. My problem was with the why they liked each other at the end of it was the lack of
killed it
story. It was just so instantaneous and uninspired, and like, why? I didn't hate that whole movie. I don't want to throw away the whole thing because I feel like if they could have built the story a little better, I would have really liked it as a whole. But I mean, that one just, I mean, it's hard not to fixate on that part. The last part of that movie, it was really just a total plunder. I mean, it was. Ugh.
I don't even remember it barely.
The one thing that Snyder Cut, I guess, gets right is that he does put humor back into it. Like he doesn't leave it all grim and dark. That there are some jokes and here and there, but.
All right. So, what do you think? Do you have high hopes? Do you think it's going to be a letdown or what?
I don't want to put too much hope into it because of how far you could be let down. But the first movie I didn't like, so it can't be much worse.
Yeah.
The trailer is much better than the actual fucking other movie.
Yeah.
I do not.
You don't have high hopes?
DC, I do not.
Okay.
And I'm trying to keep it that way. I don't for two reasons. A, DC's given me nothing to think that, like, why this would be any good.
Okay.
Two.
But don't compare it to Marvel, though.
Well, what else am I supposed to? That's the only reason they're doing this.
No. Compare it to the other movie. That's what he's asking you. Compared to the other movie, do you have high hopes?
Well, sure. It's going to be better than that.
Okay.
I mean, okay, it'll be better than that.
Okay, that's a better question. In general, so compared to the last one, I think we all agree it's got to be better than the last one, right?
In general,
has to. If this comes out, as a new movie and the word of mouth is terrible, Time Warner has a lot riding on this stuff, right? Because they brought back a lot of things and money and people and time, and they are really hoping that this gets subscribers to HBO Max. If this thing freaking takes a tank,
it already did that, though. I guarantee you that.
Well,
just out of subscribers, it's making its money.
Sure, but if this thing tanks, then you're gonna have it really hurts their entire business model with this franchise in general,
going forward,
and the streaming and the whole bit. So So anyway, so go back to my other question. So in general, compared to the other DC movies, then Nick, I think that's where you were going. Do you have high hopes based on the other DC movies? You're saying, not so sure.
No, because like I said, because of what they've shown me, I don't have anything good to go on off of anyway. Secondarily, now as a detriment to them, unless it is that incredible, if he said it's going to be on the same level as a Dark Knight and a Black Panther and a you cannot. I'm sorry, I don't think it's possible.
I wish you wouldn't have read that to him,
because there's no fucking way. Like there just
Black
isn't.
Panther movie is at God's fingertips for him. So
not only that,
I
but
wish you wouldn't have read that.
Not only that, but just even the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight it's in association with DC Comics, but I mean, up until Black Panther came out, I was like, The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie ever made. And then Into the Spider-Verse and Black Panther happened.
He's gonna hate it.
I don't know.
He's going to hate it because of that review.
I probably took the quote out of context a little bit. The guy was basically saying that superhero movies, they hit.
Right.
Well, I guess he is kind of comparing it, though, because he's saying these movies hit. I
think that was a bad idea. Averaging. Don't take the best ones that exist and be like, this is going to be like that. What if it's not? And then it's like one of those things, you overhype something, and this is the funniest movie ever. And then you're like, it's okay, but you told me it was the funniest thing ever, and it's not. Like, it's, whatever.
Like Airplane. In your opinion, but in your opinion, you are expecting dog shit.
Yes.
So,
in theory, should be
hopefully
good.
Hopefully, it surprises you.
Yes.
Well, and maybe that's in a weird way. The expectations probably for many are lower just because of the crap. So it's like if they could do a little bit better than most of the DC movies. There's a couple of decent ones, but then I don't know. So I'm interested to see it.
You have nowhere to go but up.
I'll watch it for sure. I am interested to see it. No question about it. So I guess we'll see how it goes.
I can honestly say, full disclosure, we talked earlier when we did our Superman bracket, or our superhero bracket. Spider-Man, Batman were the big ones for me growing up. But Batman was the one. Batman was my favorite.
Sure.
So I always considered myself more of a DC fan. Until all these movies happened. And now I have no choice but to prefer Marvel because that's where the time we're living in and the way it is in culture. DC doesn't hold a candle to what Marvel does. It's just not, you know what I mean? So that being said, and honestly, if it were not for this podcast, I probably wouldn't even watch this movie. I have no interest.
Ooh.
I will so we can talk about it. But if you just left it as it is, and I've seen the DC movies I've seen the Marvel movies I've seen, growing up as a Batman fan. If we didn't have this podcast, I don't think I would even be watching this movie. Wow. But I will.
Okay.
So, nowhere to go but up, in my opinion. It can't get much worse.
Next week, we will we'll give our opinions and kind of do a little mini review there, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, we'll do that for sure. Okay, the last thing I had here, guys, was this was a nice story. The brand management company WHP Global said Monday that has acquired a controlling interest in True Kids, the parent company of the Toys R Us, Babies R Us, and Jeffrey and Giraffe brands. WHP Global reportedly plans to open Toys R Us stores ahead of this holiday shopping season. So the rebirth of the physical toy store, Toys R Us, coming around again. They think that the online selling of toys is not the way to go. Target's tried to get into some of that market and just doesn't really, it's not the same. They think that people want this. They want to be able to go back to the magic of a toy store. Maybe they're saying they do other specialized things like gaming and things that they didn't have a whole lot of previously also, and have at least some of that available. So that people want this, and by this Christmas time, certainly they're banking on the fact that the world is a bit more normal. People will be getting out in crowds and shopping more physically. People miss the experience. They miss taking their kids to kids miss the going into the big toy store and looking around and just that excitement. I know I certainly loved it as a kid, and my daughter certainly loved it. I'm sure your boys did too. What do you think about Toys R Us coming back around as a physical store? Will you go? Now you have young sons. Will you take your kids there? What do you think about all this?
I think it's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love Toys R Us as a kid. It's a hallmark, a staple for all of us as children. Love going to Toys R Us. And I will admit, as you're talking about it, I'm really, coming to the realization. Yeah, we go to Target a lot. We go, there's toy departments in Target and in, your Walmarts and things like that. But I'm like, it's not the same. You know what my kids go nuts over? Going to like Stuffed Genie Emporium in town here. They are a local place, and it's wall to wall toys. It's not, you don't have to walk through the grocery aisle. You don't have to walk through the kids' clothes and the adult clothes and it's toys. And they love that. It's that atmosphere. So that's awesome. But we would be remiss if we did not mention, why did Toys R Us go down? Dean, why did Toys R Us go down?
Because the fucking prices. I mean, it's expensive.
You can find everything cheaper on Amazon or eBay or whatever.
Even Target. You can even go to Target or a Walmart and get it for a quarter of the price or whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you're
all
paying
of
for
this
the experience of having just a toy store.
Right.
But, yes, kids love to go, but if you're just taking your kids to look at what you want so you can go buy it at Walmart.
Thank you. Yep.
That's why you go out of business. So unless they fix that,
if the prices don't change, it's going to be a window shopping place like the old ones were, where I can go, hey, I'm on my phone right now on Amazon, and there it is for $8 less.
Yep.
I'm going to go buy it there, and we'll have it in 2 days.
Yep.
So
maybe they'll do some of that. There's nothing about this in the article.
Yeah. If
maybe
not,
they'll do price matching and stuff. Who knows? But I'm sure you would think that you would hope that they're smarter than just simply saying people want to walk into a store and buy stuff. You're right.
Right.
No, we do not. We want to. We're all strapped for cash.
Yeah.
We
it's
want
something
to, get the
to
best
shut your
deal.
kids up on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Now,
okay, we'll go look at toys. Fine.
Don't get me wrong. In theory,
I'll buy you that. I can order it online for much cheaper. Let's go.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. In theory, I would love the experience to go into a toy store and just buy something there. The problem is, like I said, when it's $8 more or whatever than it is somewhere else, and I can have it in the next day or the day after, it's not worth it to me. That's part of being an adult and balancing what's worth it. And it's just, so if they don't fix that, it will be for nothing. But I mean, I like the idea. I hope, I would have to imagine whoever is going through all the trouble to buy all these rights and things like that to Toys R Us and Jeffrey and Kids R Us and all that stuff, they must understand the issue. So they're doing this with not only just the, pie in the sky reason of, oh, kids just want to walk into a big toy store. No, you understand what the problem is, and you must have an idea of how you can be competitive in the marketplace, and I'm sure they probably will. So that's awesome. I like that.
You hope. It'll be interesting we'll monitor this story as it progresses and how they do and all that stuff. I mean, you're right. That's honestly, I had great experiences going there and taking Peyton there as a young girl also. But you're right. Over time, it's like I can go right over here to Target or something and get the same thing for cheaper. And you're right. It sort of became a physical catalog, if you will.
Right.
You find stuff that you liked, you would know the price, and you would wait around and spend the extra time to go to the next store until the certainly the online hit, and that's what, of course, killed it the first time. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pulling for him because we are gonna need a place to sell our Convincing Idiots action figures. So
that's correct.
Sure. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. With
Ryan with his kung fu grip.
I was just gonna say. I was gonna say with a pint grip. That's good. I like that.
Dean with his web shooters.
That's right. That's right.
Web shooting action.
the
You
silly
honor
string,
me, sir.
get the silly string canister in there.
That's right.
You know, that
You
used
just
to be
push
a
down
toy,
on it.
that used to be a toy back when I was a kid. Actually, they had web shooters
Yeah.
that shot like silly string or
Yeah,
something.
they still have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still
The
have that?
Spider-Man. They
You,
have
put it, you
Spider-Man
can
ones,
wear
yeah.
them. You can put them on your
Oh.
like a plastic grip thing where it goes on your wrist, and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you pull down on the thing. I think there's like a trigger.
Hey, maybe you can buy it at Toys R Us someday. You
let's
never
hope
maybe.
know.
so.
You never
Maybe.
know.
Well,
All right,
gentlemen,
that's
with
what I
that,
had. Go ahead.
I think we're coming to the end of this. I think
Yes.
I think we solved the world's problems this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we did. Yes, we
Believe
did.
so.
We had some lengthy
Yeah.
episodes that we enjoyed it. Hope you guys did out there as well. So,
And if you stayed this long, God bless you.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Absolutely. Nick, if they're still listening, where can they find us as a reminder?
Well, if they're
You don't
still
mind.
listening, which I'm sure they are, and I'm
course.
sure I'm probably
Mhm.
preaching to the choir
Mhm.
because I'm
Sure.
sure they've already gone to YouTube and Facebook and searched for Convincing Idiots. And when they get there, I'm sure they've liked us and they've liked all our
Yep.
posts and they comment
Mhm.
religiously, all these things. I'm sure they've also gone to Instagram and followed at convincing_idiots, as well as like good little boys and girls. They go to Twitter and follow at Convincing Idiots with no S. They're also hip and they go to the TikToks and things
Mhm.
like that where the kids
Yep.
go, and
Yep.
they've subscribed there to at Convincing Idiots. And I'm sure every once in a while they drop by and drop us an email, and that it would be at convincingidiots@gmail.com. So, for another episode of Convincing Idiots for Dean, Brian, I am Nick. Have we convinced you to buy an NFT of this podcast? Cheers, skis. I'm empty.
Excellent.
Nick,
What?
whose hand was that?
What?
Was there a hand that came out of the into the frame?
I fucking hope not. There's nobody.
Yeah, it was some adjusting the. Did you just adjust the phone just now?
Are you being
No.
like serious
Yeah,
or
no, yeah,
are you
yeah.
fucking with me?
No, there was
Oh,
a hand.
I'm changing the game on like
All
a
right,
hand. That's
all
kind
right.
of freaking me out.
I saw something. It looked like a hand was adjusted.
Yes!
Did you adjust the
Right.
phone?
Thank you.
No, I no. I've been sitting here since I came back to pee. I put my
No, when you came back in, it looked like you turned to your left and was talking to somebody, and there was a hand, right, Brian? There's like a hand.
I thought I saw something in the corner of my eye. I'm not even
Thank
kidding.
you. Okay, good. I'm not crazy.
it's probably just the ghost.
Yeah,
Okay.
could be. That's it.
I mean,
I
I
really
joke,
want-
but like it. I mean, well, we haven't had any. I don't know. We haven't had anything occur in a while.
he's
but
probably just sitting down. We saw something
yeah,
weird,
it's
Dean.
cool.
That's
We all
all.
Yeah.
coexist.
Yeah.
It's-
That's all.
It's fine.
We just saw
Yeah.
something out of the corner of our eye. It's no big deal. Okay. All right.